And finally, before we get to your questions, we have some news to announce.
Commissioner Kathy Engelberg, Commissioner of the WNBA, just announced that starting in 2025, the WNBA Finals format will change.
If the Indiana Fever showcased composure and chemistry, the Chicago Sky revealed something far more troubling: a team spiraling from the inside out. After the final buzzer, head coach Tyler Marsh didn't sugarcoat it. He admitted his team was being exploited, that opponents had figured them out, and worse, his players weren't executing the game plan. The tone wasn't hopeful. It was hollow. Then came the most revealing moment of the night. Rachel Bam, in a post-game interview, described the team's mindset with brutal honesty. We had a screw-it mentality coming into the game. That's not strategy. That's surrender. And the results on the court matched that mentality. Sloppy rotations, late contests, poor communication. It wasn't just that the Sky lost, it was how easily it happened, even with their opponent missing their franchise star. This wasn't one bad game. This was a pattern, Chicago's 5th straight loss, dropping them to a dismal 7-18 on the season. And with the playoffs slipping further away, the Sky looked less like a team rebuilding and more like one resigned to collapse. Angel Reese was absent, but so was focus, fight, and belief. The Sky didn't just get outplayed. They got outclassed in every aspect, mentally, physically, and tactically. She never stepped on the court. She didn't take a single shot. And yet, Caitlin Clark owned the night. While the Chicago Sky hosted Barbie Night, hoping to crown Angel Reese as the face of the franchise, it was Clark, dressed in street clothes, who captured the full attention of the United Center. Before tip-off, she spent over 20 minutes signing autographs for fans who came hoping to see her play. She didn't just wave. She made her way around 2/3 of the arena, smiling, connecting, signing until security gently tried to pull her away. And she still didn't stop. In a building built to celebrate someone else, Caitlin Clark was the main event. It wasn't just about fandom, it was about gravity. The crowd buzzed every time she stood up. Fever players drew louder cheers than Sky starters. And the social media clips? Brutal. Chicago's own promotion was hijacked by the star power of their opponent's injured rookie. This was supposed to be Angel Reese's moment. Instead, Clark outshined it with presence alone. And that tells you everything about where the spotlight truly lives in this so-called rivalry. Reese talks, Clark signs, and the fans? They've made their choice. In the aftermath of Chicago's most embarrassing night of the season, a deeper truth emerged. This isn't just about one game. This is about two franchises heading in opposite directions. The Indiana Fever now sit at 14-12, holding 3rd place in the Eastern Conference and just 2 games behind Atlanta. They've strung together wins with and without their star, showing depth, maturity, and a long-term vision that's beginning to pay off. Even while Caitlin Clark heals, the team climbs. Quietly, confidently. Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky are sliding. Their record? 7-18. Their playoff hopes? Fading fast. And their biggest themed nights? Ending in public humiliation. They keep scheduling games at premium venues like the United Center, keep building nights around hype, not performance, and every time, Indiana walks in and turns the show into a beatdown. The scoreboard isn't just about wins and losses anymore. It's a reflection of culture, leadership, and trajectory. One team is building a foundation with balance and belief. The other is scrambling to stay relevant in their own house. And if you've been watching closely, it's no longer about Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. It's about a Fever team making real noise, while the Sky keep hoping someone will notice their promotions. Only one of those strategies is working. Here's the part that should worry every team in the league. The Fever are doing all of this without Caitlin Clark. They've beaten Chicago by double digits, built a playoff run, and discovered a roster deeper than anyone expected. Mitchell has stepped up. Boston has anchored both ends. Timpson and BBY delivered breakout performances. In the world of elite basketball, most relationships are formed through competition. But for Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hull, something clicked almost instantly, and not just because of their shared drive or athleticism. It started with a simple observation. Lexi looked over during early practice sessions and saw something different. "She's great," she said without hesitation. "Great player, great person." But it wasn't just talent that caught Lexi's attention. It was Caitlyn's energy magnetic, fast-paced, almost chaotic. A presence that filled the gym before she even said a word. For Caitlyn, her first impression of Lexi wasn't just about a teammate. It was about trust. Someone who could keep up, not just on the court, but in the locker room banter, the late-night team chats, the chaos that comes with being a rising star. And then came the migraine incident. During practice, Caitlyn showed up with a throbbing headache and still managed to run the floor with her usual fire. Lexi, watching from the sidelines, couldn't believe it. "She's not real," she whispered to a teammate. And from that moment, something changed. The rest of the team saw it too. There was a connection forming, fast, authentic, and loud. Not the kind you see often in pro sports, where egos dominate and rookies stay quiet. No, this was different. It was personal. Back in the locker room, the energy is different. Louder, more personal. And right in the center of it all, Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hull again. On Lexi's birthday, the chaos reached peak level. The team was winding down after practice when Caitlin suddenly stood up and belted out the most aggressively off-key version of Happy Birthday anyone had ever heard. And just when Lexi thought it was over, Caitlin picked her up mid-song, lifting her off the ground like a triumphant celebration prop. Teammates roared with laughter. Coaches paused to take out their phones. And Lexi? She just laughed until she couldn't breathe. Later, when asked about it, she joked, "Having Caitlin as a teammate is like having an espresso shot injected into your day. Every day." But behind the humor, there was something deeper building. Caitlin, despite the fame and the noise surrounding her every move, never made herself too big for moments like this. And Lexi never let herself shrink into the background. Together, they created a locker room culture that was bold, supportive, and above all, fun. Rookies are often told to stay quiet, to observe, to earn their voice slowly. Caitlin and Lexi didn't just reject that rule, they rewrote it. It's one thing to show chemistry on the court. It's another to carry that energy into the public eye and make it look effortless. At a Colts NFL game, the cameras cut to the crowd, and there they were, Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hull, standing side by side, high-fiving fans, and waving with the kind of synchronized charm usually reserved for movie stars on press tours. But it was the baseball banter that truly broke the internet. An impromptu clip posted on Lexi's story. The two pretended to deliver dry MLB commentary. Caitlin took on the role of the serious analyst, offering a hilariously bland play-by-play of a foul ball, while Lexi deadpanned right alongside her, tossing in mock stats like, that was his third swing and miss of the month. Tough scene. Fans didn't just laugh. They replayed it, captioned it, and begged for more. And if that wasn't enough, a few weeks later, they popped up at a Jordan Davis concert. Not in VIP booths, not surrounded by security, right on stage, singing, dancing, and turning an ordinary night out into another viral fan favorite. But what stood out the most? How unfiltered all felt. This wasn't PR. This wasn't brand management. This is two teammates, two friends, genuinely having fun and letting fans in on the ride. Still, even stars like these need time to unplug. When the whistle blows and the game begins, Caitlin Clark transforms. On the court, she's relentless, calling plays, shouting cues, and firing no-look passes with precision that leaves even seasoned defenders stunned. But behind that intensity is something else, a rhythm. And right beside her, almost in perfect sync, is Lexi Hull. It's not just chemistry, it's combustion. During one early season practice, Caitlin reportedly demanded a full restart of a drill because the spacing was off. Instead of being thrown off by the command, Lexi adjusted instantly, locking eyes with her and nodding like they'd been playing together for years. That's what makes this duo so fascinating. Lexi isn't just keeping up, she's amplifying everything Caitlin brings. She dives for loose balls Caitlin might miss. She takes the quiet leadership role when Caitlin's fire burns too bright. And in return, Caitlin elevates Lexi, trusting her in tight plays, finding her in the corner for wide open threes. But it's not just a two-woman show. Players like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell form the solid backbone of this Fever squad, bringing discipline and balance. Still, when you zoom into those big moments, the fast breaks, the clutch sequences, it's often Clark and Hull exchanging quick glances, wordless cues, and bursts of laughter between timeouts. They're not just teammates, They're co-authors of the same high-speed, high-stakes story. And when the buzzer sounds, their connection doesn't end at half court. You'd think the real show ends after the game. But for Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hull, the best moments often come when the cameras aren't rolling, at least not the professional ones. Let's rewind to the now iconic swig drive-thru moment. Lexi Hull was in the passenger seat, casually filming as Caitlin pulled up to the window. The employee squinted, leaned out slightly, and asked, "Wait, are you Caitlin Clark?" A pause, then Caitlin shrugged. Maybe. That one word, maybe, launched a wave of fan edits, TikTok stitches, and inside jokes that spread like wildfire across the WNBA fanbase. But it didn't stop there. Caitlin received a golden mug from the shop, and Lexi, in full documentary mode, filmed the whole thing. "You're famous now," she teased. Caitlin, ever the deadpan star, looked straight into the camera and replied, "I've always been." It was raw. It was funny. It was unscripted, and that's exactly what fans crave. In a league often overlooked by mainstream media, Clark and Hull accidentally gave the world something refreshingly human. The unpolished charm of two young athletes just being themselves. They weren't just viral. They were relatable, and the internet couldn't get enough. But their off-court chemistry didn't just stop at inside jokes and drive-through antics.